property taxes in Florida, the biggest tax cut ever? Or is it a disaster waiting to happen? Last year, we paid $15,229 in property taxes. $15,229. So when I heard Florida lawmakers were advancing a proposal that could dramatically reduce property taxes for homeowners, my first thought was probably the same as yours. Where do I sign up? I mean, let's be honest. Most homeowners don't exactly love writing that check every year, especially here in South Florida, where many of us are already dealing with rising insurance costs, higher HOA fees, inflation, and everything else that seems to cost more than it did a few years ago. But then I started digging into the details, and what I found raised some really important questions that almost nobody is talking about. In today's video, we're going to discuss the potential benefits, the potential risk, and some unintended consequences that could affect homeowners, renters, buyers, sellers, investors, and every community here in South Florida. And stay until the end because question number 10 completely changed how I think about this proposal. Before we jump in, I want to hear from you. If this amendment was on the ballot today, would you vote yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Then watch the entire video and see if your opinion changes. Because the biggest surprise isn't how much money homeowners could save, it's who might end up paying instead. So let's get started. Florida lawmakers have approved a proposal that will go before voters because this is a constitutional amendment. It takes 60% of voter approval to pass. Well, the goal to provide significant property tax relief to Florida homeowners. Sounds good, right? For many people, that sounds fantastic. Let's start with the good news. Homeowners could save thousands of dollars. This is the headline everybody is talking about. Property taxes have climbed dramatically over the past several years as home values increased. For many homeowners, especially retirees and people on fixed incomes, even a few $1,000s a year in savings could make a real difference. And trust me, after writing a check for $15,229 last year, I completely understand why people are excited. Well, lower property taxes could make Florida even more attractive to retirees, remote workers, and people relocating from states like New York, New Jersey, Illinois, and California. As a realtor, I can tell you people already move here every single week because of no state income taxes. This could accelerate that trend. More money stays in your pocket. If homeowners save money on taxes, that money could go towards home improvement, investments, vacations, retirement savings, or supporting local business. More disposable income generally creates more economic activity. Relief for long-term homeowners. One of the biggest frustrations I hear from homeowners is, I bought my home years ago and my taxes keep climbing. Many homeowners feel like they're being punished for staying put while values rise all around them. This proposal is intended to provide additional protection for those homeowners. Now let's talk about what almost nobody is discussing, because whenever something sounds too good to be true, it's worth asking a few questions. So question number 1, if this is real tax reform, what replaces it? This is the question I can't stop thinking about. Florida doesn't have state income tax. Property taxes are one of the primary ways local governments operate. Roads, police, fire departments, drainage systems, parks, libraries, water infrastructure. So if we remove a major funding source, what's replacing it? Because removing the load-bearing wall is easy. Explaining what holds up the roof afterwards is the hard part. Now for question number 2. Is this actually a tax cut or just a tax costume change? This is one of the biggest secrets nobody is talking about. Governments still need revenue. So if property taxes go down, does that money simply reappear somewhere else? higher utility fees, stormwater fees, permit fees, special assessments, business taxes, higher rents. Taxes have a funny way of disappearing through the front door and reappearing through the side door. Question number 3. Who pays the debt we've already borrowed? Cities and counties throughout Florida have borrowed billions of dollars for infrastructure projects, roads, water systems, drainage projects, public safety facilities. Those bond payments don't disappear just because we changed the tax structure. The debt still exists. Someone still has to pay it. Now, question number 4, what counts as a core service? Police and fire seem kind of obvious. What about drainage? We're in South Florida. Drainage is pretty important. What about flood prevention, road maintenance, permitting, our parks, our libraries, beach restoration? The fight may not be all about taxes at all. It may be about who gets to decide what government should fund. Question number 5, who controls your city budget? This is where things get really interesting. If Tallahassee ultimately decides how local governments can spend money, how much flexibility will cities and counties have? Will local elected officials still control local priorities, or will budget decisions increasingly come from the state level? Question number 6, what happens during the next recession? Property taxes are relatively stable. Sales tax revenue isn't. Tourism isn't. Real estate transactions aren't. Florida has been booming, but what happens when the economy slows? What happens when revenues fall at the exact moment demand for services rises? A system that works during boom years still has to work during tough years. Question number 7, what if we're trying to solve the wrong problem? Here's another secret nobody's talking about. Property taxes are not the only reason housing is expensive. Insurance is skyrocketing. Construction costs are up. Land costs are up. Labor costs are up. Starter homes are scarce. Zoning restrictions exist in many communities. Well, tax relief helps, but it doesn't automatically solve Florida's affordability crisis. Question number 8, what happens to renters? Most discussions focus on homeowners, but what about renters? If governments replace revenue through fees, assessments, and business taxes, landlords may eventually pass some of those costs along. The question becomes, does this benefit everyone equally or mostly homeowners? Question number 9, will special assessments become the new property tax? South Florida homeowners already know what assessments look like, especially our poor condo owners. If cities and counties lose revenue flexibility, do we see more special districts, infrastructure districts, stormwater assessments, community development districts? Taxpayers don't really care who sends the bill. They care that the bill still arrives. Question number 10. Could this actually make homes more expensive? This is the question that surprised me the most. Think about it. If buyers know they're going to save thousands every year in property taxes, well, what happens? Some economists believe those savings get priced directly into home values, meaning buyers may simply offer more money for houses. So homeowners save on taxes, but future buyers may pay more for the home itself. That possibility isn't getting nearly enough attention. And now, here's my bonus question. Where is the sunset clause? If Florida fundamentally changes how local governments are funded, shouldn't there be a mandatory review over 5 years? Like, measure the results? Did homeowners save money? Did renters benefit? Did infrastructure suffer? Did local governments become more efficient? Did fees increase? Did affordability improve? If the policy works, excellent, that's great. If it doesn't, there should be an opportunity to adjust course. Big experiments need exit ramps. So where do I stand? Honestly, I understand both sides. As someone who paid $15,229 in property taxes last year, I would love meaningful tax relief. I know many of you feel exactly the same way, but I also think Florida voters deserve answers before making one of the biggest financial decisions in the state's history. This is much more than property taxes. It's about how Florida funds the communities that we live in, where we raise our families and where we invest. So now I want to hear from you. After hearing both sides, would you vote yes or no? And more importantly, what question do you think lawmakers still haven't answered? Leave your thoughts below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to South Florida Real Estate Tips, where we break down the real stories behind the headlines so you can make smarter decisions about buying, selling, investing, and living in South Florida. And if you know someone who owns a home in Florida, send them this video, because whether this amendment passes or fails, it could impact every property owner in this state.